Hello, dear students. I am your lecturer, Miss Shanti Virginia D'Souza, and today we will be discussing the themes in The White Sargasso Sea by John Rees. देखो, हमने पहले वाले लेक्चर में तो डिस्कस ऑलरेडी कर लिया है कि बर्था मेसन कौन थी. बर्था मेसन को हम हमेशा जेन आयर में, जिन्होंने भी जेन आयर पढ़ी है उनके लिए तो वो पागल औरत ही थी, जिसे एक एटिक में बंद रहती थी और वो मिस्टीरियस थी. हम डरते थे उससे, बाप रे कौन है ये औरत, ऐसे कमरे में अकेले अकेली रहती है, पागल औरत है. एंड वी वुड फील ओ हाउ सैड, बेचारा रोचेस्टर, ही हैज़ टू डील विद दिस काइंड ऑफ अ मैड वाइफ, हाउ सैड. एंड at the end we feel so happy that he marries Jane and we feel it's a happy ending. But in White Sargasso Sea you get to see the making of Bertha Mason and what she has had to go through, the pain that she has had to go through. Her part of the story we have discussed that in the previous lecture. You all can check for the link in the description of that lecture. Now we are going to look at the themes of the White Sargasso Sea: colonialism and post-colonial identity, race and racial conflict, madness and mental illness, gender and patriarchy, आइडेंटिटी एंड एलियनेशन. तो चलो इन सब थीम्स को हम एक एक करके देख लेते हैं, मैं डिटेल में एक्सप्लेन कर दूंगी. सो द फर्स्ट वन इज colonialism and post-colonial identity. The novel explores the effects of British colonialism in the Caribbean, particularly on Creole people like Antoinette, who are caught between the black Jamaican population and the white British colonizers. तो भाई ये ना इधर के है ना उधर के, ये बीच में फंसी हुई है बेचारी एंटोनेट और इसके जैसे क्रियोल लोग, क्योंकि इनकी आइडेंटिटी ब्लैक और वाइट के बीच में है. दे आर half racial or biracial. Okay, so they are suffering because neither of the community accepts them and both ill-treat them. Colonialism and post-colonial identity. Point 2. Antoinette's identity crisis reflects the fragmented identities of former colonies as she struggles to belong to both Caribbean and English cultures. The lingering tension between the former slaves and their owners showcase the aftermath of slavery and the complex racial dynamics in post-colonial societies. अब भाई जब स्लेवरी करवा रहे थे तब इन owners ने, these owners never thought that it's going to backfire, but it backfired. So we are seeing the aftermath. Now if you have tortured the slaves, it is an obvious thing, they are going to react, they are going to revolt, and this is the revolt that breaks out over here, the backdrop against which this novel is set. Race and racial conflict. Racial tension is central to the novel, highlighting the animosity between Antoinette's Creole family, the descendants of white slave owners, and the black Jamaican community. The novel examines how racial hierarchies persist after the abolition of slavery and how Antoinette is marginalized by both Jamaicans and the white English people. Antoinette's mixed heritage leaves her alienated from both the dominant English culture and the local Jamaican population, intensifying her isolation. So, जैसे मैंने बोला था, वो ना इधर की है ना उधर की. She is being rejected and alienated by both the cultures, English as well as the Creole or the Caribbean culture. And this makes her very isolated. And what is the effect of that? We have already seen in the summary. Do check it out in the previous video. Madness and mental illness. Antoinette's gradual descent into madness parallels her mother's mental instability, suggesting how trauma, isolation, and cultural alienation contribute to psychological breakdown. The novel questions the Eurocentric view of madness by contrasting Antoinette's experience with her husband's cold rationality, highlighting the cultural and racial bias in how mental illness is perceived and treated. The oppressive treatment of Antoinette by her husband, who renames her Bertha and confines her, triggers her mental deterioration. Let's look at the next point. जेंडर एंड पेट्रियार्की। अब भाई जिन्होंने जेन आयर पढ़ा है, बार बार मैं जेन आयर का जिक्र इसलिए कर रही हूँ बिकॉज दिस इज मेंट टू बी अ प्रीक्वल टू जेन आयर। सो जिन्होंने जेन आयर पढ़ी उनके लिए तो रॉचेस्टर हीरो ही होगा. सो यू माइट बी नॉट वेरी हैप्पी टू रीड दिस वन, बट this contains a very important truth, a very important reality, showing how the English people made the slaves, the blacks, suffer. So, the novel critiques the power and imbalance in marriage as Antoinette's husband seeks to dominate her, stripping her of her identity and agency. This man crosses every limit in trying to put his wife down and hurt her and control her and isolate her from the society. The theme of male control extends to colonialism, where men like Antoinette's husband assert control over women and the land, mirroring imperial domination. तो यहाँ पर जेंडर और पेट्रियार्की में एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग एक कनेक्शन दिखाया गया है कि men are controlling their wives also, as well as they are controlling the slaves, they are controlling the land. So basically a man wants to control everything. These are these kind of men who give no respect or position to a woman in their life, and women who marry them suffer. Now you have identity and alienation. ये बेचारी इस औरत को आप देख रहे हो या अकेले बैठी हुई है यहाँ पर खिड़की के तरफ बाहर देखते हो? Yes, this is meant to be Antoinette. This is Antoinette. Antoinette's struggle with her identity is a core theme, as she feels torn between her Caribbean roots and her European heritage. She fully belongs to neither world. She never fully belongs to either world. She is not fully Creole, she's not fully British, she is on the fence between both of them and can never be either of them. And that is why she is very alone. And later we get to see in the story how this loneliness aggravates her condition. The renaming of Antoinette to Bertha by her husband symbolizes the erasure of her identity and individuality, further alienating her. अब भाई ये मैंने पहले भी बोला है, पहले वाले लेक्चर में, अभी भी बोलूँगी. बर्था नाम सुनते ही हमें वो पागल औरत याद आती है जो एटिक में बंद रहती है. अब इस तरह के नाम से कौन बुलाया जाना चाहेगा? जब उसका नाम है तो उसे इस नाम से क्यों बुला रहे हो भाई? पर इसे बुलाने का एक इफेक्ट होता है. व्हेन यू कॉल समवन बाय अ नेम दैट इज़ नॉट देयर्स, you're immediately confusing their mind and making them feel like they do not have an identity and they're not the person that they are. You make them feel like a different person. This is what Rochester did to her. Now we will see a little bit about Rochester. Rochester in Jane Eyre is the handsome and dashing person who's sadly married to a mad woman. We feel bad for him and happy for him when he does marry Jane Eyre. And we see him as a very respectful gentleman, sophisticated and everything. Okay, but what is he in reality? What is he over here? He's nothing like the hero figure that we see in Jane Eyre. He's nothing like the man you would want to marry. He's cold and unsympathetic, controlling, jealous and insecure, morally ambiguous, emotionally detached, and the worst thing about him is that he is a colonist. He's a colonizer. So, his colonialist attitude. Rochester represents the British colonial mindset, viewing the Caribbean as exotic and inferior, which influences his treatment of Antoinette and his inability to understand her cultural background. ये भाई साहब करीबियन लोगों को, क्रियोल लोगों को एक इन्फीरियर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखते हैं. ये पहले ही अपने मन में इस तरह की स्टीरियोटाइप इमेज बना चुके हैं एंड ही फील्स दैट आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड देम एंड आई डोंट इवन वांट टू ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड देम. सो हिज इनएबिलिटी टू अंडरस्टैंड हर कल्चरल बैकग्राउंड कॉजेज अ फर्दर डिवाइड बिटवीन देम. रिफ्ट जो बोलते हैं ना, रिफ्ट ज़्यादा आ जाते हैं इन दोनों के बीच में. Emotionally detached, he is distant, struggling to connect with Antoinette and often views their marriage as a business transaction rather than a loving partnership. अब भाई ये तो लालची आदमी है. He married her for her wealth because she had inherited a lot from her stepfather. और मतलबी आदमी भी है, लालची भी है, मतलबी भी है. इनको इस शादी में कोई खास दिलचस्पी है नहीं. इनको सिर्फ एंटोनेट का इनहेरिटेंस चाहिए था, उनकी वेल्थ चाहिए थी. बाकी इन्होंने इमोशनली कभी सपोर्ट नहीं किया उनको. He is a controlling man. Rochester seeks to control over Antoinette, gradually stripping her of her identity, renaming her Bertha, and contributing to her mental breakdown. Jealous and insecure? Of course. This comes from a jealous man. This comes from a jealous man's point of view. You would not be treating anyone indifferently if you were not insecure yourself. So his insecurity leads to jealousy as he becomes paranoid about Antoinette's past relationships, which further drives his mistrust and cruelty towards her. वाह भाई वाह, ये खुद एंटोनेट को बर्था नाम दे देते हैं, खुद उसको पागल घोषित कर देते, पागलों जैसे ट्रीट करते, आइसोलेट करते हैं. लेकिन भाई पागल तो ये खुद है, खुद की गलती इन्हें दिख नहीं रही है. ये इनसिक्योर इंसान है, इनकी इनसिक्योरिटी ने ही जन्म दिया है इस सब पागलपन को. ही इज़ पैरानॉइड, ही इज़ इनसिक्योर, he is jealous, he is the one who needs to be locked in an attic, not Bertha. But because, all jokes apart, because of his insecurity, he is treating her that way. He is isolating her and believing a complete stranger's views about her because he is not sure about his own self and their relationship. Cold and unempathetic? Of course he is cold. There's no doubt about that. Rochester shows little empathy for Antoinette's emotional and mental struggles, dismissing her as unstable rather than trying to understand her perspective or trauma. Finally, morally ambiguous. He is portrayed as a morally complex, both a victim of societal expectations and an oppressor, acting out of his own fears and frustrations, which ultimately ruin Antoinette's life. See, he is someone who's very insecure, as we had just seen. He is morally ambiguous. On the one hand, he is tied by societal expectations. लोग क्या कहेंगे, लोग क्या देखेंगे, लोग देखेंगे तो मुझे क्या बोलेंगे, लोगों की क्या सोच है. He is tied by these kind of things. On the other hand, he is an oppressor कि भाई मुझे ये करना है. I am the controller, I am the oppressor, I am the one who decides everything, and he ruins his own fears, his own insecurities and frustration make him destroy Antoinette's life. Now, there's one very important and interesting turn in the story, which is Rochester's affair with the maid, Amelie. There's a maid, she is a Creole woman. And, हाँ, obviously slave है तो Creole woman ही होगी उस ज़माने में, yes. So how does this affect Bertha? Betrayal and humiliation. The affair occurs openly in front of Antoinette, intensifying her feelings of betrayal and humiliation. It reinforces Rochester's disregard for her emotions and further alienates her in her own home. एंटोनेट इस चीज़ को बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पाती है, सह नहीं पाती. कौन कर पाएगा? ये आदमी इतना खुदगर्ज है. ही इज़ अ सेल्फिश मैन. Instead of helping his own wife, he tortures her, makes her isolated, alienated, strips her off from any social life, and finally goes ahead to have an affair with the maid who works for them. And this is something that his wife cannot bear the pain of, and it makes her more frustrated and depressed. Finally, we are going to see the conclusion and what makes Bertha, the making of Bertha Mason, or her final descent into madness. So yes, the things that aggravated her suffering, as we have discussed before, you can write these as the themes: the emotional and physical isolation. Rochester locks Bertha away in the attic of Thornfield, cutting her off from society and any meaningful human connection, exacerbating her mental instability. Loss of identity. Rochester renames her Bertha and denies her cultural heritage and individuality, stripping her of her identity as Antoinette, which which causes this kind of destruction. So अब हमने देख लिया मेड तक के साथ अफेयर करने को तैयार थे ये आदमी, उन्होंने कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ा बर्था को पागल करने के लिए. ही हैड एन अफेयर विद द मेड. इट ब्रॉट सो मच पेन टू हर. ही आइसोलेटेड हर. ही treated her like a mad woman. So what does Bertha do at the end? What does she do at the end of the novel? She goes ahead and she burns the mansion down. In White Sargasso Sea, the destruction of Thornfield Hall is seen by Bertha or Antoinette. She ultimately sets fire to Thornfield Hall, the mansion where she is imprisoned. This act of destruction can be seen as her final attempt to reclaim power and agency over her life, even in her madness. Death, after setting the fire, Bertha meets her end, likely by jumping from the roof of the burning house, which brings her tragic life to a close. तो बर्था ने इस घर को और खुद को साथ में जलाकर तबाह कर दिया. She has destroyed the house which had imprisoned her and her imprisonment in itself, also setting herself free at the end. She is a powerful woman. She has been through so much suffering, the loss of her mother, the loss of her brother, the tragic and unfair marriage to this unkind, insecure, unfaithful man, Rochester, bearing him not loving her and going ahead and even having an affair with the maid, which is so ruthless, so heartless of him, and stripping her of her identity and anything that makes her an individual. And she sets herself free at the end. She burns the house down, and now she is free from this man who had made her struggle and suffer and tortured her and treated her in a colonizing and inferior manner. And this is what we have at the end. I hope that this explanation was good for you and you have understood the story of White Sargasso Sea. You can write this in your written exams. All the very best. See you in the next lecture.